What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle D, better known as RideMyAvatar, and hope your holidays went well, but we're going to be going over some Ex-4 decks. Well, one Ex-4 deck. So without further ado, let's get into Alternate Beginnings, the first deck I'm going to show off today. First off, we're going to be playing none other than 4 Omnimon. So this new Omnimon is actually probably a really good black Digitama in all sense of the words. When one of your other Digimon Digivolves, draw a card. So this now, especially with the new Alter-S deck, lets you gain some advantage because of the zigzag pattern of Digievolution you want to do. This will allow you to just get some decent draw advantage out of it. So this plus is going to be very powerful, and I think this will be a new Digitama paired to Pagumon at times, depending on the deck built in with it. So that's just kind of my opinion. I think 4 of these is a must. Then we are playing 4 Agumon from BT12. BT12's Agumon here. This card is reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 card with Greymon in its name or Omnimon in its name, and then 1 card with Tai Kamiya in its name from among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck. This helps you search out key pieces that you might need, and that's going to be very important. Then we do have, also this gives an extra little 1000 DP boost all turns, making your Greymon and Omnimons a little more powerful. But the fact is that this card allows you to put stuff to the bottom really is important because the other 2 really don't like putting things at the bottom of the deck, which hurts you a little bit. But being able to cycle some of the pieces down can lead to being some beneficial plays. Then we are playing 4 of the new Agumon here. So this Agumon here is on play. Reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 Digimon card with Greymon in its name, and then 1 Digimon card with Gabumon or Garurumon in its name, or Omnimon to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the top of your deck in any order. This can hurt you a little bit because you're placing them at the top, and sometimes dead cards will lead to the top. What's really important about certain decks is the way you can filter. Putting stuff to the bottom of the deck, some people will say, is the worst thing you can do. But at the end of the day, being able to move cards to the bottom, especially if they're dead cards to you that you might not need, are really beneficial to get there. So I think it's important at times. And then your turn, place one of your Digimon, when one of your other Digimon would Digivolve, gain 1 memory. So this allows you, if let's say Gabumon's on board and you Digivolve into Greymon, and that Greymon Digivolves to Garurumon, you'll get a draw and a gain a memory. So it kind of reduces the cost a little bit there. So I think that's very beneficial, and this Agumon will play a major key role. Next, we do have the Gabumon counterpart. So this one will search for a Garurumon or a Agumon, Greymon, or Omnimon by checking the top 3 cards of your deck and then placing them at the top of the deck. Same thing with the Agumon, but it also has when one of your other Digimon would Digivolve, you would gain 1 memory out of this, kind of reducing the cost that you kind of want to have a reduced cost for. I think all in all, this is where you want to see this, and I'm not hating it. I think this is very valuable into it, but I still think we should have had the choice between putting top or bottom. That would really make a difference for it. Make it all or none kind of situation. Sometimes just dead cards are still dead cards. Next, we are playing 2 of the new Greymon from BT12. This one allows you to Digivolve on top of your Agumon, but also can Digivolve for 3 on top of any black Digimon, which synergizes a little bit for this deck. But also, what I like is that when you would Digivolve this Digimon, you may play 1 Tamer with Tai Kamiya in its name if you don't have a Tai out. So this allows you to get your Tai Kamiyas out, which is your Tai and Mat combination, because you need to get that sometimes for free, because playing for 4 will cost you the game sometimes, especially depends on how fast your opponent's going. So I think being able to Digivolve on top of an Agumon for 2 really makes this beneficial there. It gains an extra 1000 DP boost for evolving up as long as it's a Greymon or a Omnimon. So our top ends are Omnimons, and we have a few Greymons to climb up with. So that's some valued there. I think 2 is fine. You could definitely play 3 if you wanted to. Next, we are playing... So we're going to do that. We're playing Greymon and Garurumon at full play sets. It's kind of mandatory, but that's kind of the reason for this is that both of them have a really similar effect. Each one will, when digivolving, you may digivolve one of your Digimon into a Greymon, well, or a Garurumon. So this one will digivolve your Digimon into a Greymon. This one will digivolve your Digimon into a Garurumon. Both have reboot inheritables, which we like to see. That they should have had something a little bit different to make them more unique and stuff, but we kind of just expect this. They just, if you're ever missing a piece, you can get around some circumstances, but this allows you to reduce the Digievolution of that one by 2. So let's say you go to this Greymon and you didn't have the Gabumon ready in raising. Now you don't have to worry about it. This well, in the inheritables, not in raising. If you had a Gabumon or an Agumon in its inheritables, the next evolution would kind of reduce it. So that's kind of important there. And then we do have reboot across the board, as I mentioned. And this can do it for any level 6. So depending on circumstances, let's say you're at a Weregarurumon and you digivolved up there, you know, or Metal Greymon, you could digivolve higher, especially if these were already on board prior. So that's just something we will look at for. I think the whole 8 playset is kind of needed in this deck. Then we do have, similar to the Greymon and Garurumon, they do have Metal and Weregarurumon both in the deck. They are exactly the same card printed, just they do the same thing as that Greymon counterpart. And Garurumon, this one will digivolve your Digimon into a Garurumon, a level 6 or lower. This one will digivolve in your Digimon into a Greymon for 6 or lower, reduce the Digievolution by 2. So making it a lot cheaper. But this gives blocker inheritables, so now your Digimon has double blocker, which will ever come up. Maybe. Depends on source stripping and removal of that kind. I think that is very well timed and very important to know. But they are blockers across the board, so they're not terrible Digimon at all. I think this is going to have some really useful niche plays. And, I mean, hey, blocker in its main effect, inheritable blocker, and being able to zigzag pattern you up is really important. So all in all, great Digimon, main ultimates you're going to be playing of the deck. So there is no other ultimates you should be playing. Then we do have 4 Blitz Greymon. This card has a really powerful main when digivolving effect, a couple of them. One can... So this will get you to your Garurumon, which... that's what your kind of goal is. Then it does have the DNA Digivolve to apply pressure that way, so that instantly once you get into the other counterpart, you stop zigzagging, you instantly DNA into your Alter-S and apply pressure that way. But also, so when digivolving, you get to de-digivolve 3 of your opponent's Digimon down, but also it has a really powerful inheritable, so that when one of your Omnimon attacks, when attacking, you may trash one of your opponent's security stacks. So that's going to be really important because that removes threats off the security. That gets a free damage in. And I think applying that pressure really can do some damage. Especially being able to de-digivolve your opponent's Digimon really can do some damage. So next card we're going to talk about is Garurumon. So this card here is really nasty in my opinion. So Garurumon has some really good control effects. This card can choose any number up to a total play cost of 6 of your opponent's Digimon and bottom deck them. So that gets them off the board, removes threats very easily. Some champions, all champions, bottom deck very easily. But also, it does have a great inheritable when it's hacking. If this Digimon is an Omnimon, return one of your opponent's Digimon level 5 to the opponent's bottom deck. So that's really important, being able to send that to the bottom. But it also has the Digi-Evolution of the next one will be for free. So you get the free Digi-Evolution, but also you get to do some crazy shenanigans as well. And that is that you get the DNA at the end of a turn. You get one of the choices, but that's not bad. Well, you don't get the DNA at the end of turn. I'm used to all of them just saying at the end of turn DNA, but when Digivolve, you can get to DNA Digivolve. Not a bad deal there. I think that's very powerful, and the way you go about it is really going to help you out. And then, so the next card we're going to talk about is the bread and butter of the deck. First off, the major effect that is all turns. If this card, similar to Dark Knightmon, is trying to remove, it'll instantly remove Blitz and Crest and place them on board. And then this card will go right at the bottom of your security, giving you free recovery and fizzle any removal that they had. This is an instant negation when this thing would be deleted or removed from the field at all. So Chaos Degradation will fizzle out. Instantly, this card will go hiding. Not a bad trade-off, I think. But also, when Digivolving, this card can delete a 8,000 DP and then spin back a level 6 Digimon to the bottom of their opponent's deck. This is huge at sometimes removing threats off board, especially if you can get it at the right time. I think this card is got really a powerful card. I think the deck still suffers from I need my hand to be perfect kind of scenario, but I think this is really powerful Alter-S. And then we did get a brand new card. So next card we're going to talk about is Omnimon Alter-B. This card, when Digivolving, de-Digivolve by 3, and then you get to choose up to any number of Digimon, equaling out a total play cost 6 or less, and then just delete them, get them off the board. Really nasty, especially gets around a lot of preventative removal and stuff like that. But also, when it's hacking, trash up to 3 cards. For each card trashed this way, you get to, guess what? Get to delete a Digimon or Tamer with the lowest play cost. So killing off Tamers can really do some damage, but also if you trash a grand total of 3 Digimon cards that are level 6 or higher, by the way, that's the only way you can remove stuff from the sources, is your level 6s and level 7s. This card will lead to just straight up punishing your opponent, and that is, it gets a free 2 trash on their security. So this could lead to just game wins by himself because you trash 3 Digimon cards. Boom, they're done for. There's nothing left. So that's something to really think about with. Omnimon Alter-B is really powerful. Next, we're going to get into the Tamers. I'm going to play 3 of the new Matt and Tai Kamiya. The reason why we're playing 3 of this card is your turn, when you would play a Gabumon or Agumon, you get to gain a memory. So they reduce the on-play cost, which is really beneficial in my opinion. Then your turn, when you would Digivolve one of your other Digimon, well, Agumon or Gabumon, of course, into a Greymon or Garurumon, you get to play the counterpart. You'll get to play a Gabumon or Agumon from your hand as long as you only have 1 Digimon on board. This helps speed up the clock and apply pressure this way. And I think that is really useful because it doesn't cost anything to play for that free cost. And then you gain a memory out of the deal. So I think this is really useful. It speeds up your clock a little bit, helps you alleviate issues that the deck was having, especially if you couldn't get a second body on board to keep it on board. At least last minute you can get in raising, protect the stack, and then boom, instantly start climbing up from there. I think that's really useful. Next, I am playing one of the old Tai and Matt. Reason for this is because we are an Omnimon based deck. This will let us get that extra security check, but most likely people are sitting on their boss Digimon. So this allowing us to gain 2 memory can lead to extending our plays, which is very important to us. We need to extend our plays at certain circumstances to climb up, Digivolve, and I feel like The other Matt and Ty are good, but this one at least gives an extra security check to your Alter-S and your Alter-B because they're applying pressure that way. Security checks are very important. I think just teching one of this really would make a difference in your list. And I think it's spicy enough that it'll throw off your opponent. And then we do play 2 Nokia. Nokia is really good because when you play her, instantly play a Gabumon or Agumon. That gives you value because most of your Agumons and Gabumons will do searches. But she can reduce the Digi-Evolution cost of that Gabumon and the Agumon when you Digivolve up into Garurumons, Metal Garurumons, or even Omnimons. Being able to reduce that cost really can apply some damage to your opponent, keeping it your turn, making your opponent have to think around plays that they weren't ready for. Nokia just adds in a lot of advantage that they weren't ready for, especially since she comes in for 3. You get a body, a tamer, a reduced evolution cost that would normally cost you a lot more, and I think that's very important. I think playing 2 of her really speeds up your clock on your opponent and can lead to wins that way. And then finally, we have the Oh, I'm Falling Behind card. So this card is in security. You may play 1 Agumon or Gabumon from your hand or trash without paying its memory cost. So you get to play a Gabumon or Agumon from your trash or hand without paying its memory cost. Really free value there when this card is hidden security. But if you have a Crest Gurumon or Blitz Greymon, you get to Digivolve into the counterpart of your Gabumon or Agumon as a warp for no evolution requirements. Digi-Evolution requirements. Digivolve. Yeah, you don't get to pay. So one major thing about this is you get to Digivolve up into the big boss Digimons because you don't have to burn so much out of the resources, because both of them, your Agumons, Gabumons, or Garurumons, or Greymons, instantly can go into their counterpart without burning resources. And it's a free Digi-Evolution to get to their Mega, and that can win you the game just that by alone. So I think this card here, this option, the Golden Beast, Beast Blade, and Crimson Dragon Blast, really is going to apply pressure that way. I think this is a very useful one of. I don't think anything above that would be extremely beneficial. I think 1 is good enough, in my opinion. So, guys, what did you think of this deck profile? Let me know down in the comments. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and stay tuned for more videos like this on the channel. And guys, I'll catch you next one. Peace!